I like not even realizing, but like conforming to the voices of those that were giving me opportunity.
Get rid of all your anxiety because this is the best you could have done, right?
Now everyone was asleep around me and I was just like biting my nails, like getting so nervous. There's a reason why I'm in the room, and it's for those people around me to hear exactly what's on my mind. I think there was one person who was like, "Are you a midget?" And I was like,
"What?"
Yeah. And then humans have limits, and that they can't be like a know-it-all of everything.
You clearly don't know what you're saying, but you're just saying that to impress me. I'm not impressed because I do my research in this. When somebody walks in with like just a shitty attitude, and it just brings everyone down.
Exactly.
Like
I don't know, if I don't take those skills with me to apply I meant to say, to everything that I do, then like those experiences then become worthless. It's not because I want to be, it's just because I have a lot on my plate. Then, I mean, in my eyes, I feel like that's a lot more genuine.
Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to the Long-Term Podcast. I'm your host, Advin Villa, and today we have an honors political science student with a philosophy minor at the University of Alberta. Through her roles as a VP External for Women in Political Science and VP of Social Impact for the U of A Black Students Association, she contributes to projects that center community, dialogue, and equity on campus. She founded Midnimo, a growing Black History Month initiative that brings speakers, performers, and classroom resources into high schools. The program is built on collaboration with educators and her to make conversations and around history and allyship more accessible and meaningful. Samira also mentors through the Boys and Girls Club, supporting youth in navigating school, identity, and personal growth. Her approach to leadership is shaped by curiosity, care, and a belief in building things that last, especially when it comes to creating space for people to feel heard and connected. We will discuss how to stay true to yourself while doing advocacy or leadership work, making political conversations feel more real and less intimidating, and what it takes to create a genuinely inclusive spaces, not just surface level ones. Everybody, welcome Samira Schultz. Welcome to the Long-Term Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Samira Schultz, everyone. Yeah, so how's your day so far?
Oh, not too bad. Just a, I guess, regular day with every day working. So that's how it's been starting, and then going to the gym. So yeah.
The workout was good?
Yeah, the workout was good. Yeah, hit legs. So
Nice.
Yeah.
So with advocacy work, it can often feel like balancing many voices and expectations. How do you maintain your own voice and values in spaces that may pressure conformity?
Yeah, like this has been like a tough one because it's something that has developed through the years, especially because I started advocacy work when I was kind of young. Like I was in high school still, and when more opportunities started to arise, that's when I had to think about this a lot more, because I was finding myself not even realizing, but like conforming to the voices of those that were giving me opportunity, just thinking like that's what's going to help because that's what's going to keep me in the room. And then as I've gotten more comfortable in the room, that's when I realized that that's not the way to go. So I think the way that I've grounded myself in I guess my values and how I stay true to myself during advocacy work is realizing that there's a reason why I'm in the room, and it's for those people around me to hear exactly what's on my mind. And I just make sure that what I'm saying has backing, and that I do my own personal work outside of the room to bring in very valuable stuff. So yeah,
you've done the work. You're there for a reason.
Yeah.
Right. And I get like that sometimes too, where I have my own voice, right? My own opinions, and I'll shift towards what everybody else thinks because I want them to like me. You know, I want them to to be able to, be looking up to me and we're on the same team.
It's a very natural thing for people to do.
Yeah, but going against the grain though, that's where
the push happens.
The push happens. And if it's the truth to you, like you should keep fighting for it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
How do you go about doing that though? Like with backlash, right? Nobody's ever going to want to change their minds as well if, you go at them with just anger or you go at them with hostility. How do you go about it?
Yeah. I would say it's with grace, with patience. It's really just understanding that anger is not going to go anywhere. People are not going to respond to me just raising my voice. Like that's not going to make like the point that I was saying any more valid. It's just going to make people think that I'm not a person that can like work with them, or I can't be like a team player. So it's like finding where that person's coming from and why they are pushing against like the opinion. And most likely it could like be because of like a miscommunication, or it's just simply that like I could be wrong. And then that's just an opportunity where I can like learn something, and then that could,
Has that always been the case? You said that where you could be wrong, like you're open to change. Because I know for me, I've only realized that recently where I make a mistake, right? And I actually listen to other people and I actually do something about it and admit that I'm wrong, which takes a lot of courage. Has that always been the case with you?
I feel like I've had my eras where like like especially high school going into university, I was like more of a people pleaser. Yeah. It was like when I realized that I guess maybe my point is like now going sideways, I would like just throw it away and be like, okay, yeah, you're right. Like, sorry, like I am so wrong right now. And then there's been, I would say that actually this has kind of happened in the past like year. And then I've like learned to kind of reel myself back, where I've now like erred on like the stubborn side at times. When I'm like, yeah, no, my point, like it needs to stay on the table for these reasons. Like because maybe like it was points of me getting a little too, what's the word?
Consistent, or
just,
you said you're stubborn?
More like, I guess maybe I was had like a little bit of an ego trip at some points.
Oh, wow.
Like with all honesty, but I've now like learned to have that balance and know that like, being a people pleaser, that's not gonna like get me anywhere, but like also the ego is not gonna get me anywhere either. So now it's like it's like grace that I needed to remind myself of. And like I guess now I'm thinking of like, love is patient, love is kind. Like, can I put my name in front of those? Like, I guess like is Samira being patient right now? Is Samira being kind? And if I'm not, then that's when I need to reel myself in and then remind myself of that and then continue on.
Yeah, no, I was the same way in high school. Like it was either my way or the highway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I guess I really relate to that because like in my friend group, I guess I could say it. Like I wanted to be the leader. I was kind of like, I thought of myself as the leader, right? Even it wasn't no democracy though.
Yeah.
But I kind of pushed other people away, and instead of actually changing their lives for the better and actually bettering the friendship, it was like a dictator type of thing. And it wasn't until I lost all my friends, or I guess some of them stayed, but like told me the truth. It wasn't until then where I'm like, okay, maybe I should be more accepting, right?
Yeah. Because like a true leader is one that like empowers others to want like to follow in those footsteps and like learn very valuable skills from that person, not necessarily like be, I guess, the one on top and then like have people feel like there's a hierarchy here. And that's one thing that I've definitely like gotten that what's the word I'm looking for? Just like seeing those in like mentors and then like people around me, especially like at work, like that is like a huge value for us to be all at the same level and like learn from each other to like build each other up. And that's how like that's a leader. And yeah, I've just tried to like carry that through to other things that I do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Our push like as the BSA is just to promote like political literacy, like have people like form an opinion like for themselves, but then give them the tools to like like go about like understanding like what they are like consuming. That's what I meant to say.
Okay. Yeah. So how do they navigate towards all the different types of information, right?
Yeah.
And how do we make a consensus as to what's right for that person, right? And as a leader, you can't really tell someone, oh, you need to be pro-gun because this, you need to be anti-abortion because of this. It's like they need, like, you can't make someone change their mind, or you can only give someone the tools to make the correct decision to them. And like, we live in a democracy, right, where, you know, the majority wins, and no matter how many times you research a certain topic, how deep you believe in a cause, when it's a majority vote, that's what's gonna be opted for. And when you're a part of that club, right, and most of you guys are wanting to be lawyers, right? Most of you guys are in poli-sci and all that.
There's like a mixture, like with the BSA, like there's us, like there's a few of us like in the arts, there's a few of us in the sciences. So that's like something that I really love, because we're all like speaking from very diverse backgrounds, diverse like interests as well. And it does like shape what we think towards like the university, because each faculty is receiving like different
well, like, a lot of these people, they're gonna be able to, we are able to vote being at the U of A, right? And
exactly,
I guess clubs teach us a way to be able to, reach a consensus as efficiently and in a democratic way.
That's very true.
Certainly, it's impossible for it to be smooth sailing, though, because there's always going to be disruptions along the way, because not everyone's going to think the same way as you. No matter how many times you read a book on leadership and compassion, right? You're not going to please everyone.
Yeah.
How do you go about doing that?
I think. Wait, can you repeat the last thing that you said?
There's like all these different opinions, right? And you really have to choose one outcome. Yeah. And how do you go about making the right decision despite the backlash from the minority within that group, even the majority? Like, how do you go about the disappointment from people? Yeah.
I would say that like we're fortunate to have like I guess with like the structure that we have, it's like 8 people like running one like portfolio and all. So we are all like running very like diverse like sectors to the group. So I find that like one decision, let's say like it was a finance thing, like it's very easy to just allow that person to like make that decision. So with that, I think it's just like it's a lot of just like having trust in like the people around you, and like knowing that, like maybe, I don't know, I'm not the greatest with finances, but let's say in this situation, like the point or like the idea that I brought forward got like shut down. I would be fine with that, because I have trust in the people that are like, or like the person that like brought an idea and like their idea is the one that we're going with. I know that it will end up, it would be a good approach.
How do I build trust?
Team bonding, I guess.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we do a lot of team bonding, to be honest. And that's like always just, I don't know, we just do like a fun little thing. And through that, we always end up in like conversation and just like getting to know each other and getting to know like each other's character. And from that like connection, it really translates into the work that we do, and also just the quality of of what we do as well. Because you see it like at events, like how we're working with each other, like people, like general members can definitely see that we are more than just like executives on this team. Like we are like genuinely like building friendships. So do
you know what trust feels like for you?
That's a deep question. For me, I think, I am like an overthinker, and I find that like, if I find that like, I know that I trust someone when like I barely have like a second thought about what they're saying or what like the next step that they're choosing is going to be. Like if I know that like I hear what's about to happen and I'm like, okay, then like I trust them for sure.
Yeah. I don't trust people that can't say no.
That's so fair.
Because if you,
Yeah.
how are you gonna trust their yes if they can't say no?
Yeah.
They're just saying yes to please you, and they're just a yes. It's like that yes man. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, yes, Mira, like you're great, you're this, and then it's always what you want to hear,
Yeah.
right? So what is the value to what they're saying? It kind of diminishes.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I think trust is just having no hidden agenda. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't know. I've talked to many people that just don't have my best interests for whatever reason. Maybe they're jealous. They just don't like me because of the way I talk. Maybe they just, I said something 4 months ago that they didn't bring up, which we could have talked it out.
Yeah.
It's like all these myriad of reasons.
Yeah.
But I think with the truth, though, as long as you follow through with that and you yourself are confident that what you're telling everyone is the truth and you're not trying to be malicious, that's usually how I sleep at night.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, everyone, there's these people that just don't like me, especially being in a leadership position, right? You're going to have people talking shit. Like that's
so
just
true.
how it is. It's like, what? Brittany said this? Like Tom? Like I was so nice to Tom. Like, didn't you see with my voice? Yeah, but he just didn't think you were being genuine. Like, what? I was being so genuine. What are you talking about? It's like people can like just morph your intent by the tone for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Do you ever get that?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I feel like that goes back to what we were saying about conforming to the groups around you, and then also what I was saying before about like coming in prepared, coming in with like backing, and then also like I don't know, as you keep working with these people, you're going to see that people are going to start building like good track records, and that's going to also build trust. And that's like the only time where actually like that's the way that the second guessing thing, like that's how it goes away. Because if I see that there was like good outcomes in the past, then I'm going to keep like trusting their
And I like that forward. Too. I heard this from Jocko Willink that like you shouldn't, when you're performing, get rid of all your anxiety because this is the best you could have done, right? If you actually put in all the work to the speech, to the readings, and you equipped yourself with sleep and knowledge and good food, and you went to the gym and you optimized everything, then once you're there on the stage, maybe you're giving the speech, maybe you're, whatever it is in a leadership position, there's no need to be insecure about it because you've done everything you can. This is your best.
Yeah.
Right. This is it. You've done all the work. Now, if you didn't, yes, maybe you should be anxious. But I think a lot of like high performers such as yourself who want to be in the leadership position, right? It's like, since you're always trying to optimize for everything, right? You kind of like, I get like this too, where like, oh, I'm preparing for like this podcast, what am I going to say and all this, but then wait, all those thoughts are net negative. Like, who's this helping?
Yeah. It's like knowing that like if you've done it in the past, like you can do it again. Like what experience, like all the experiences that I've gone through, and I know that I've gained skills from them. If I don't know, if I don't take those skills with me to apply it, I meant to say, to everything that I do, then like those experiences then become worthless. Like I can say that like I've done a lot of public speaking, but then don't take what I learned from it. Like don't shift my eyes around when I'm like talking, or make sure that I like stand strong. Like if I don't do that, then people are not going to think that like I've done a lot of public speaking, just like as an example. So you can like
talk the talk, but you got to walk the walk as well. You got to like show up. Like you can sit here and like, I've been leader like 1,000 times in my life. I've been in this, I've been in that, but like, unless you actually go and show people, then it's all just talk.
Exactly.
Talk is cheap.
Yeah.
Do you ever deal with imposter syndrome?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Like so much. It's gone a lot better. I think.
How would you describe it?
Ooh, actually, I haven't really put into words, but I think it's just, yeah, it's like, it's not thinking that you deserve to be in like in the room or like where you're at, or like, actually the first place that my mind went to is just like the beginning of uni and like my political science classes. I felt like I couldn't like bring up the most intellectual thought because honestly, like before university, I didn't really like read up on politics all too much. But then there's some like history buffs in my class that could like speak on like the smallest detail of like World War II.
John A. MacDonald, you know, and
exactly.
and World War II.
Yeah, and that was just like, that wasn't me when I first started. So yeah, that's like, that was in that moment I was like, oh, did I pick the right degree? I don't know. Like, but then I realized that like I'm in university to learn, and like I found where like my my strengths are. Still not honestly like history all too much, but like I love theory. I love like case studies and applying those theories that like I've learned, and
it's really common imposter syndrome in university, right?
Yeah.
And I think I heard this psychologist, and he talked about how it's people get that feeling is because every year you're like a different person and you're kind of evolving. And when you compare yourself from a year ago, it's like a totally different person. And when you're in the university, like being amongst the people, you feel dumb. Like that's certainly what I kind of put my ego in check, because here I was thinking, oh, I was the GOAT. You know, I was there and I was getting 80s and 90s in math class, and I thought university is going to be a breeze. Then you get there and you realize that, oh, like I was just swimming in a pond.
Yeah.
There's an entire lake here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm swimming with the big fish now.
Yeah.
And then, there's this people with like 4.0s, and like I'm asking them, a lot of them have been on this podcast. I'm like, how do you do it? And they're like, I don't know, there's just, everybody's got their own kind of strength to it and their own protocol, right? And it's just so like, at times I do feel inferior, and I'm like, oh, it sucks with this. But then it's like, those thoughts don't get you anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just like finding, like trust in yourself, and like, trusting that, like where you're at basically. And knowing that you don't have to be perfect, like when you're like going into uni. That's and terrible. Everything.
Yeah. Perfection is
it's
futile.
A killer.
It's a killer. Yeah. Cause like, I'm always thinking about like perfection. Like, what even is that? Like, is that like,
I mean, no human can be perfect.
Yeah, no human can be perfect. Yeah.
So it's really funny to me that like everyone strives for perfection. But then I feel like everyone probably like feels that like they know that they can't be perfect. And that's not even like what we should not be striving to be perfect.
True. I heard this one guy say like, at which point is an oak tree perfect? You know what I mean? That which like when you look at your dog, like an animal, like which we just think they're perfect. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
They're perfect in your own way with every single stage in evolution within their growth. Yeah. It's like, oh, they were a puppy one time, or like it was like a little sapling, and then now it's grown to this size. But in each stage was a purpose for them. Yeah. Up until, the cycle of life.
That's very true. Yeah. And then, it's true. Like if someone is saying like, oh, I want to be perfect, like what, like they, like what are they comparing themselves to?
Yeah. I mean, in this like day of social media, right? You can compare yourself to like the top echelons of success.
Yeah.
Like, I could compare myself to like Joe Rogan right now. Like, wow, I'm such a tiny fish. Or I could look at it objectively and go, yes, they're there, but I can still keep on trying. And if it doesn't amalgamate to something great, at least I tried, and I won't have to regret it.
Yeah.
I think,
exactly.
Yeah.
And then like everyone like started somewhere too. Like even like Joe Rogan. Actually, I don't know much about Joe Rogan, to be honest. But
he's just like a comedian, UFC. Yeah. Like he's just popular. He's famous because of he just didn't stop.
Exactly. Yeah. And like I'm sure that there was a moment in his life where he felt like what he was doing wasn't gonna get somewhere, but then it ended up getting somewhere. So yeah. Isn't
that crazy that like the people that we look up to were in our position one time? Like they were just like like the top lawyers, top CEOs, like the big people.
Yeah.
But then again, though, is that like, is that something that we should strive for? You know what I mean?
I feel like well, we should never like strive to be exactly like our
Mhm.
role model. I think it's just maybe taking, I don't know, taking like qualities that we really like about them, and then seeing how we can apply it to, I don't know why I keep saying imply when I mean to say
No,
apply.
yeah,
But
they're the same. Like imply, apply,
um
imply, apply. I
I
guess
guess
you could kind of
imply,
not that. No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
um
Mhm.
and like apply it to our own lives, and then see how it like uniquely adheres, or yeah, like, I don't know,
Yeah.
sticks to us.
No, I get that. I mean, there's all these protocols when it comes to studying, right? There's like
Yeah.
the Pomodoro method. There's like interleaved studying where like you block out like different topics, and
Yeah.
there's like mnemonics, and there's uh, highlighting, there's underlining, there's
Yeah.
just you know elaboration, asking the why for every single thing, and there's like a mental framework that you can do to memorize it properly.
Yeah.
But it's not until you actually utilize it, like, does it work for you? Like, does it actually grow corn? Does
Yeah.
it amalgamate to something that that's tangible,
Yeah.
right? Or is it just because you saw your friend that's ultra successful that you keep doing it, but it's actually not doing anything for you, right? It's
Yeah.
like, if it works, just keep doing it. If not, just discard it. I think with like all
And
the
then
morning
find something new.
routines and
Yeah.
all the workouts, right? There's endless routes, and we get stretched into all these different directions. But there is a workout for you. There is a study routine for you. You just have to keep searching.
Yeah, exactly. And it
Yeah.
might even be something that's not even like, I don't know, like scientifically like researched on, like, I don't know, like the best like
Yeah.
study session or study I don't know, practice. I feel
Mhm.
like I've never actually like followed a like certain study way. Like
Oh
I've tried
yeah?
like Pomodoro, but it never works for me.
Really?
I find that like it's just, I don't know, when I have used it, it's just been what has helped me like realize how much time like used to like work on one thing, but I've never been like, okay, well, if my understanding is like correct about how it works, like I haven't actually like finished like the thing that I had the goal of finishing in like 45 minutes. And maybe it's just like the type of like work that I was doing when I was like working on that. Cause like, let's say if I was working on an essay, I wouldn't want to like rush apart just because I want it to be done in 45 minutes, because that's not going to get me the grade that I would like, or like, I guess the outcome that I would want of that essay. But recently, I guess a one study method that I might use just because I found it randomly
Sure.
was just like, I like playing maybe like a game. Okay, maybe this is just my
A
ADHD,
game.
but
Wow.
like playing like a game in between like doing something, because
Like
then
Subway Surfer or something?
not Subway Surfers, maybe like 2048 or something.
Call of Duty.
Or Call of Duty. Like something like, I guess, simulating. I don't know.
Sure,
Like
sure.
yeah, that was my issue like in high school, like, and actually before, until like I started taking ADHD meds, to be honest, where like studying was just not stimulating enough for me, even if I liked the topic. Like I just couldn't just sit there and like read. So I always was like, I needed like some second like stimulation. So this year I'm like, okay, let me just try like playing a game in between like practice questions, or like I finish like a little bit of like my essay and then I'm gonna play a game. I feel like when I say this out loud, it sounds stupid.
No, it's not. I think I relate. I mean, I've never actually formally diagnosed, but I think I might try that, because usually I do Pomodoro, which is like 25 minutes study time, and
Yeah.
then 5 minutes break up until you're done whatever task
Yeah.
you need to do. But lately I've just like been listening to the meditation music with no words, and kind of make me want to work more. And no, I
Nice.
like with the stimulation thing. Like if you have to, play with a Rubik's cube as you're reading something, or just play Call of Duty Zombies when you're,
Yeah.
I don't know, you gotta show me your games when you're doing.
I mean, I think the last time I played Call of Duty was like years ago, so I wouldn't choose that, but
I could just picture you in your class, bringing your PS5, just
and playing COD in class.
COD in class. GTA.
No, I did play a lot of 2048 though in
What is
my classes.
2048?
Have you never played 2048 before?
No.
Wow.
No. What is that? Is
I
that like
like-
a race game?
No, it's like there's tiles, and you first start with like a 2 and a 2, and then you like combine them, and it turns into a 4. And then like the goal is to, I
Mhm.
think I've never gone to the 2048 block, but it's to create like the 2048 block.
Okay.
So it just starts like, I don't know.
to check it out. Is
yeah,
it on the iPhone App
Yeah.
Store?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like also it's one of the games that's always available like on a flight. There was one time, this was like when I was going on my study abroad last summer, where I played for so long because like I got so close to that 2048 tile, and now everyone was asleep around me, and I was just like biting my nails, like getting so
Wow.
nervous. And like it's the type of game, like actually I was like looking into this, like normally you're always just failing at the game, but
Sure.
like for some reason, like it doesn't feel like you failed. It just feels like you just got like that much closer.
Wow.
And then you just keep going and keep going. And I feel like that could apply to like a lot of other things in your life.
Do you gamble?
No.
You sound like one. It's just
I
like,
just
yeah.
realized that I
It just seems so like stimulating, right? It just feels like everything's novel. I'm like, wait, that's exactly. I just watched like a gambling documentary, and that's exactly how like.
really.
That's funny. Okay, it's just 2048 though. Up until it's actually.
I'm
on
not
the slump.
spending money
Yeah.
on it.
Okay.
Maybe I should stay away from
Yeah.
a casino. Maybe
Can you imagine?
if I do play casino games, that I get a little too hooked.
Have you?
No,
No?
I've never been in a casino before.
Oh wow. Okay, maybe we try to avoid that. Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
What personal habits or anchors help you stay grounded and connected to your purpose when the work gets overwhelming or emotionally heavy?
Yeah, I like keeping like a good group around me, especially like I don't know, like all my university friends, especially like in political science, we're going through very similar things, and instead of just like phrasing like or like forming a conversation around like how miserable we're feeling in finals season, like it's more so like, oh, how are you getting through like this assignment, like or like what are I don't know, some positive things that you're doing in your life right now to like get yourself through it. Obviously sometimes it is like this sucks right now, but like it's just like yeah, keeping that good group around you to like motivate yourself, but then also be like that like positive light in their lives when they need it most. And then like
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a part of your friend group. You guys are you guys cliquey? Like, can you welcome me?
I would say I always say this
Am
to
I
my
welcome?
friend. Yes, of course.
Okay, so-
I think we more have like a friend network. It's really funny. Like everyone knows each other. And like let's say like I have a few friends that like from high school that also work at Joey, and like oh yeah, I work at Joey restaurants. I guess that's like something that
Yeah.
we both know, but like anyone who's watching would not
We're
know.
all interconnected.
We're just
you
all
know?
interconnected. Exactly.
Okay. I go into you like say it's like a hangout, maybe a study sesh. It's like 1 p.m. We all just
Yeah.
finished our morning classes, and like Samira, it's really getting to me. You know, there's these finals. You know, what's how do you go about that conversation?
Yeah.
It's okay, Advin. Like, what are you like? Are you like there? You with high energy? Like,
I
what are you?
think the first questions I would ask is like, oh, how long have you been working on this like certain assignment?
Oh, I haven't started.
Oh, you haven't started?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just playing 2048. Like you said, yeah.
I think I'd ask like, like what has been like that mental block for you to
It's
start the
just like
assignment?
there's some childhood trauma.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I guess like in this scenario, I'd ask if you wanted to like say what emotions like are coming up.
Kind of like excited mixed with anger,
I see.
mixed with sadness a little bit,
Okay.
mixed with disgust.
Okay.
I'm
I want to know. To be honest, I'd be like,
Maybe you should get some help.
maybe we should just get a sweet treat or something, and then let's get back into it. But yeah.
Okay. But yeah, no, it's just a network is so important.
It's so important,
Because
yeah.
like you have a person that walks in And if you can just, it's palpable, hey?
Yeah.
Like when somebody walks in with like just a shitty attitude and they're like, it just brings everyone down.
Exactly.
Like I have this one friend that just like sees everything cup half empty. And I love the guy, but it's just like, we'll have the same interaction or we'll be in the same vicinity.
Yeah.
But he would perceive it as like awkward and weird and like uncomfortable.
Yeah. I've been in situations like that for sure.
But it's fine. Like, it's just, everything's fine.
Yeah.
And like, he seemed like he was having fun, but like from his perception, after we had gone into our own paths and, talked about it one-on-one, he's like, yeah, this is awkward. Yeah, this is like, it's all about reframing that, right? And
exactly. Yeah. I feel like, in those situations, I think I'd always just like ask the why. Like, why are you feeling awkward right now? And then like, maybe like the room is like maybe really busy and then they just need like some time like outside and then go back in and then they feel fine. But like everyone definitely has their reason for like feeling certain ways in different rooms, or like, let's say, I don't know, this could be a random like scenario, but let's say like we're in a room and then they see someone that they never wanted to see again.
Oh.
Yeah. And then like but they haven't told me the lore yet.
John is here.
Yeah. And then I'd be like, who's John?
Who's John? Like, John used to bully the shit out of me in grade 1.
Yeah.
But he's been in grade 1.
But like if that still affects them, then like
that's true.
I would want to give like space for that and like see what like the best thing could be. Like, let's say if we're in a situation like where we have to stay in the room, then like I'd just say like what is like, knowing that we have to stay here, like what's the best thing that like I can help you with right now? And if it's just like, I don't know, simply just like staying by their side the entire time or something like that, then that's something I would do.
Yeah. As long as that person isn't gonna like harm them.
Yeah.
Or isn't gonna go over their boundaries, then it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay, exactly.
Yeah. And it's just, actually me saying that, I actually still hold some like things people say to me in elementary, I still think about them to this day.
No, I have a few things too.
Like this, I was in grade 7 and actually I'm friends with them now. We just weren't close, but then I had a growth spurt. So like all my shirts were like a bit too small. And I was just waiting for my mom to take me to like H&M or like Value Village,
Yeah.
So like my friends, I guess we weren't that close back then, but they're like, I shop at Baby R Us.
Oh.
Like that's what they were saying. And I'm like, that's so weird.
Yeah,
and then what's that called? There's this chick in grade 6 that like, I was like, can you enunciate your words properly? Because I had just moved from the Philippines to Canada. Kind of stuck with me, And I'm like, if somebody said that to me today, I'd be like, off, Yeah. But like, since it happened then, like when you're a kid, when you're just like growing up, right? It's like these hit, right?
Yeah.
They like.
No, they definitely would.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's no like secret that I'm short. But like that was one thing that like
you're short.
Yeah, I'm short.
never noticed.
I don't want to sound like pick me right now, but like that was something that like was always like brought up.
Oh really?
Yeah, like when I was like in elementary
like,
school.
Oh my gosh, Samira, you're so short.
Or like they would make like a little like slide joke, and then like that like stung. Like it stuck with me for a bit. But now it's something that like. Yeah, it like sits in the back of my mind. Like it's still something that like I think about. Like let's say if like a random, I don't know, like a guest that I'm serving like makes a like comment about my height, then I'm always just like, okay. Like now, like I'm like it doesn't hit me the same way like grade 6 Samira like was being hurt by it. But
it's crazy though. There's this woman at my work. She's like on the board, part of like one of the executives.
Yeah.
I don't know what her actual position is, but every time she walks into a room, she's like, she's shorter than you. And I think she's got this like boy cut hair, but she's just like, her frame's like very slim, but she's not intimidating.
Yeah.
But when you talk to her, like every single word that comes out of her mouth is like she means it, and she knows what she's doing, every single step she does. And anytime anybody is in the room with her, they like all attention's on her. Yeah. And she has a lot of respect. And I've also met people that are like 6'5", like 250 pounds.
I can't hold space like that.
Yeah, like I'd be at the gym and it's like I approach, I'm like, hey man, what's up? Can I use that? Can I use the set, like that? How many sets you got?
Yeah.
Like they're fucking throwing it like an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
Oh, chill, man. I'm just asking you a question.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Just like our postures and the way we conduct ourselves and the way we frame things.
Yeah.
Like if you had let the short jokes affect you, and if you just hid in your shell and you're like, oh, I don't want to be in a leadership position anymore.
Like,
They're making
that
fun
could
of
have
me.
affected me in a lot of different ways.
But you didn't. You just, you know what? You'd laugh about it now. You have some people, you could get angry about it too. And then you could get, you could start having fights with people as you're waitressing,
That made me think, there was one person who was like, are you a midget? And I was like,
what?
Yeah. And then I was just like, no. And then he was like, really? I was like, yeah.
That's so
and he's
rude.
like, really?
That's...
Yeah. And his kid was right beside him too. I was just like, what are you teaching this girl?
What? That's so bad.
Right? And I mean, then that's when I learned that I think 4'10" or something is considered actually, wait, is calling someone a midget bad?
Yes, it's a slur.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Don't cancel me.
That person called you a midget, though.
They did call me a midget, yes.
Yeah.
And I think now if it happened to me now, I would have I think I would have been a bit more stern about it, to be honest. I kind of was like, oh, I don't want to affect my TIF average right now. I'm just gonna laugh it off, even though this guy has already said a few other things that were honestly microaggressions and all that. I felt just constantly degraded by this guy this entire time.
Yeah.
And then that comment about my height really got to me. But yeah, now it's something that I look back at and be like, okay, now that happens to me. I maybe laughed at it a little too much in the moment. I wouldn't laugh at it the same way if it happened to me again with a guest. So
yeah, well, you learn from it. Yeah, right. You go, next time, not gonna let this happen.
Yeah,
but still, it happened, right? And you can frame it in your head as a lesson.
Yeah, exactly. Rather than something that's gonna now shy me away from a situation like that.
This job, I'm never gonna do anything. And
it's no, I wouldn't let that.
Actually, I was going for I usually around Sherwood Park.
Yeah.
There's people that yell mean stuff out their car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, two guys have given me the finger.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know what I did. I'm just going for a run. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did.
And you did nothing.
And then there'd be there's kids in the back. It'd be dads or moms. And then I'd be scrolling through my Facebook, after a long day of working and podcasting, being productive. I'd see a celebrity post just pop up in my feed. I'm like, oh, cool. There's who's that woman that sang "In the Arms of the Angel"?
I don't know her name.
That song.
I do know that song,
but
though.
Her, that artist. There's a photo of her, and it was a before and after, and she had the after pic, she'd aged, and. I looked at the comments. I always look at the comments. What do people have to say? Yeah. People are so mean.
Yeah.
People are they'd be like, oh, what happened to you? You're supposed to be young and healthy. You're so unhealthy. You're so ugly. And then I click on the profile. I'm like, oh, it's got to be some private, troll, nobody, just TikTok comments. I see it's a mother of 5. Yeah. They're in their Christmas jumpsuits.
It makes you think what are they teaching their kids?
And then I'm tapping on the next one, next hate comment. It's dad of 2. Yeah. And I'm like, what are these? And that's when
why are they spending their time on that too?
That's when I realized, here I was being young in elementary going, yeah, when I this mean stuff, this immature stuff, it's all gonna go away once we're past 18. Yeah. But then now, almost being in the mid-20s, it's everywhere. Maturity doesn't correspond to age.
Yeah, that is very, very true.
I've met some 13-year-olds that can hold their ground onto mature conversations and are respectful. I've also met 50-year-olds that never left high school.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
No, it's I would say personally speaking, that I don't know, like I've had like a lot of experiences that have like definitely matured me. And I never like, I mean, like I did, but then I didn't like let myself think, okay, like when I was in high school, like, oh yeah, I'm 16. Like, no, I can't, like, I can't do any advocacy work. I'm like, no one's going to listen to a 16-year-old. Like, no, like, obviously if like I have felt like I can have like the confidence to like do something, then that will, like, people will see that. And then they will be like, oh, you're 16? What? Like now I get it. Like now I'm 19. And then when like I am like in a, I don't know, I'm at like a networking event and I do tell people my age, they're like, no way. Like, what? Like, I thought you were like at least like, I don't know, mid-20s or something like that. And I'd be like, oh, nope.
Yeah. Well, like you can have a 13-year-old spend 8 hours per day editing, like just on Scratch.
Yeah.
And they've had experience since they were 5, just doing it for fun.
Yeah.
And once they hit 13, they probably just are better than 99% of people.
Yeah.
And this, my one friend, there was this one piece on this computer that he could not figure out. Like I forget which piece it was, something in the hardware, like he was building his PC. And he was trying for hours.
Yeah.
Got really frustrated. He was on Google. He was on Reddit. He was on ChatGPT. Nothing was working. Went to the hardware store, getting all these parts. Nothing was working. Found this guy on the Facebook Marketplace. There's this service. And it was this like, I don't know how he found it, but eventually, yeah, they drove to this place. Mom or older woman opens the door and they're like, hey, what's up? And they're led to this basement and pops up this like 12-year-old kid. And he gets a screwdriver because they brought in the PC, does it in 10 seconds,
and then it was
fixes
fixed.
the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Boom, $50. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like stories like that or you hear about like prodigies about like in mathematics or science. And you can't really underestimate like young people. Right?
That's so
because
true.
they've like we all get 24 hours within the day, and a lot of people just do it so efficiently in their passion that they can just sharpen that sword so sharp it just slices the dragon right cleanly off its head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's why it's like, it's good to have your things that you want to like get like good at and then be that expert. And like, I feel that comes with, like, yeah, like understanding that like humans have limits and that they can't be like a know-it-all of everything. So then I feel like when you see like those prodigies, you see that they are like, they have got something down so well in a very specific thing, but people still see it as very, very impressive. So yeah, that's something that like I've had to think about as like opportunities have arisen, that there needs to be a time where I do say no to something if it feels out of the scope of like what I desire to be good at.
Yeah, because you're just going to be stretched out. And then Oliver Berkman has this quote of decide in advance what you're going to suck at.
Yeah.
Right? Like
sports.
Yeah.
For me.
I got swimming for me. No, I want to be a good swimmer, you know, like, but am I willing to put in the hours every day? You know, am I willing to I can get really good at Call of Duty Zombies, but is that really a good use of my time? And this brings the thought of, like, I heard this from Naval Ravikant, and he says that people are not lazy. Majority of people are not lazy because everybody's always doing something, right?
Yeah.
It's more that time allocation.
Yeah.
Like the reason that society views certain people lazy is because, they just sit there and they just watch TV, or they just eat all day, or they just lounge around. But they're doing something within that time, right? If you take the same person who's spending 12 hours every day on video games, you take that same person, you make them read law, and you make them watch the news and get really good at, editing certain things to put them together into this lawyer editing piece, they would be so good at it. But it's just, there's a lot of friction in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And now I'm even thinking like the other way around. If you put someone in like a room playing that game with someone that has like played it for how many hours, like they're not then they're not going to be good at it.
No,
Simply
exactly.
because they just haven't spent the time on it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
society definitely like shapes that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as someone involved in both academia and community spaces,
Yeah.
how do you translate political or philosophical concepts into conversations that feel approachable and relevant to everyday life?
Yeah. I guess the approach is like different depending on like the magnitude of the topic. Like, but it's really just like meeting people like where they're at, and not like, I don't know, if it was like a topic that like came up in conversation, I knew that I had like a lot of like understanding of it. I'm not gonna like then right away now start talking at like that level.
True, but there's some
Like-
people that do that though.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
crazy.
And then what does it do? It just like makes the other people not want to listen.
Yeah, it's like, you clearly don't know what you're saying, but you're just saying that to impress me. I'm not impressed because
Yeah.
I do my research in this. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You don't. You just want to talk to talk.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And then it just sounds like what is it called? Verbal vomit? No.
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
verbal vomit. For me, it sounds insecure.
Yeah.
Like, it just sounds needy.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I know like people say that like that you know a topic if you can like change how you like talk about it to like different like levels, like at like a university level, or if like you're talking about the same thing with like, I don't know,
Like a 5-year-old.
exactly.
Mhm.
Like do what ChatGPT does, like
Yeah.
explain this like I'm in grade 5.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
basically doing that, but like, well, I mean, not to that total extent, but
Mhm.
like yeah, especially being like sensitive to the topic too.
Yeah.
I find that like with social media, like I love that like people are like posting and like sharing, like spreading awareness about very like sensitive topics. But like if it's like in between, like I don't know, like, if it's like on a story post and then like people are like flipping through and then they see like, I don't know, someone like celebrating like something, and then the next thing is like an info post on like a very like sensitive topic, then people are gonna have a harder time like switching their like brain to like that, like to be able to like consume that type of knowledge.
True, yeah.
So yeah, it's like, this goes back to what I was saying, but everything needs to just be approached with like grace and just like
Yeah.
there needs to be like a foundation before you can go into like these types of
Yeah.
topics.
Like, why don't you care about this? I'm posting about it all the time. I'm talking about it all the
Yeah.
time. It's like, I go on Instagram just to look at my like stories of birthdays, people graduating. And then
Yeah.
there's just this post that like gets my adrenaline going. And I'm like, do I really want that? But it's like presenting it in a way that's like palatable, but not so
Exactly.
serious, that just like, because I know there's a bunch of research that shows that people that watch a lot of news are unhappier,
Yeah.
where it's like, I get it. Like, my dad watches a lot in the news and he gets stressed out sometimes.
Yeah.
But it happens to me too. And that's why you got to present it in a way that's like compassionate and actually welcoming.
You can't like target people or just like say like, oh, well, what are you doing with yourself if they didn't know about like, I don't know,
Yeah.
like a very important
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. What strategies have worked for you when engaging peers or even younger students in political discussions without making it feel like a lecture or debate?
It's like, one thing is like making sure that I haven't been like talking for all too long whenever I get into the topic, because like, I mean, I know that my attention span has already gotten shortened because of like Instagram reels and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, like asking those right questions, and then it goes back to what I was saying about like finding out like where people are at, and it's like I can't know that if I'm not like letting them say how they are feeling. And like, even if I know there's like going to be a time where someone goes like, yeah, that makes sense, but like if they're using that tone, then like obviously then there's something that they want to say but then they aren't saying it. So yeah, I feel like that answered only like a part of the question though.
No,
Sorry.
that makes sense. I mean, the tone of voice, like a lot of people will say they get something, but they don't actually get it.
Yeah.
Or like when their eyes are squinting. I know my one friend does it. Like, he does this. It's like so obvious too.
Yeah.
At the start, I thought he was like mad at me or something because he did this like
When he's just like really
yeah,
thinking
like when
though.
he's just like really confused.
Yeah.
Like, I really did I say something to offend him? Like, oh, he was just confused.
Yeah. And it's also like creating that open that what's the word I'm trying to say? Like create an environment where open conversation can happen and people don't need to be afraid to like say that they don't know.
Judgment free
zone. There we go. That's exactly what I meant.
Sounds like yoga class. Like, oh, kumbaya.
Exactly.
Judgment free.
But that's definitely an important piece.
So I think I already asked you about this, but the camera shut off. How do you encourage people to care about politics when they feel disillusioned or think politics doesn't affect me?
Yeah. It's like what I was saying before. Like people, especially when it's like it's a topic about something like overseas, they'll be like, oh, that's so far away from me. Like, why do I need to care about that? When first, like, especially if it's like a humanitarian conflict, care about the people that are like being affected and like being killed, like that I feel like should go without saying. But also like if people like for like other topics, like if they don't fully understand like the implications of like a certain thing that's going on overseas and how like interconnected like maybe our country is with them, like they're not gonna care. But even like now talking about more local stuff, it's local. It's going to affect you in some way, like in the smallest way too. It could be even like now the price of your coffee, like if that makes sense. Yeah. And I think too, if it doesn't affect like a certain, that person's demographic, then they shy away from it, or they think like, oh, okay, well, I haven't had to deal with that adversity, so I can't put myself in that person's shoes. So I'm going to avoid it. And I'm just going to like stay away because like, I'm never going to fully understand it. So why would I like put myself in that? That makes sense.
Yeah. No, it does make sense. This thought actually just came to me about like, I'm not really into politics. Like I've talked to a lot of people about like certain wars and how we can be better as a nation and how we can help. But this thought just came up to me when describing it to people that's not into politics is when you punch some stranger, that stranger is someone's brother, son, maybe dad. They're going to be hurt.
Yeah.
And depending on the severity of it, they're going to go back and maybe that stranger is hurt and they can't do their job properly, big bruise, and maybe their bones broken. That's going to affect the family that person has. Maybe that person has anger issues and they dish it out on their kids for whatever reason. And then next thing you know, they get fired from work and then all this, and it's like a butterfly effect.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So like within politics, within like the world, one nation could be struggling, and what would the people do within that nation? They'd want to, flood to the other countries, carrying all that trauma, all that, all the things that they've seen.
Exactly.
And they could possibly, dish that onto other people, or that maybe they just need help and all these things. Eventually, it'll just be right in your front door. Now, do you want that? And you see this with prices and all this stuff. Like, is that coherent? Is that
that makes sense.
An original thought?
I had like a lot of things going through my mind when you were saying that, like thinking about like many things. Especially like I was thinking about my mom too, because like she's like someone that like when she was like 16 had to like flee Somalia and then like come here and then was like left alone to now learn about like I don't know how to live in Canada and all, and like not have like just the most like just traditional upbringing, obviously.
This is the product.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wow. Good for your mom.
Yeah.
I mean, that's she would be very proud.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
In 16.
Yeah. It was 16 was like the start, and then like it was finally when she was my age, when she was like now moving like to Canada, and then also like finding a job, and then like slowly like beginning the like citizenship process and all that. So but like she was here now like learning, but then also like she obviously has like on like a weight on her shoulders of everything that she had in Somalia, and then also everything that happened in
Yeah.
Somalia. So, and then when I was thinking about that, another thing I was thinking of is like that would make it really tough for someone to like have their have the headspace to like really care about the politics around them, because they know, especially with Somalia, like there's not a lot of like media coverage on what's going on there. So I think that's definitely something that would go through like my mom's mind, like like I know that this is like happening, but like I really wish that the coverage that this topic is getting would be the same as like what's happening in Somalia. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many things going on in the world, right? And it seems like people don't care as much because they care more about celebrities, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They care
pop
more about
culture,
like pop
it just
culture.
is the easier topic.
Yeah, because it's like it's feel good kind of
Exactly.
news, and like you don't really have to look at yourself in the mirror and like question things about the world. You kind of just go, yeah, I'm just cruising around doing my 9 to 5, got my family,
Yeah.
I got all this. But then on the other side of the world, there's the wars and there's famine and there's
Yeah.
all these atrocities, and
We're
it's like
privileged to just like be
yeah,
able to just look at pop culture if we wanted to and like not think of anything else.
yeah,
Which is, it's really tough because I think, I mean, at least I hope like a lot of people do understand like the privilege they have being like in a first world country. And like being able to just like live in a place that has like great quality of living, and then like they can actually just go about their lives not understanding every single process that is happening around them because it's well established and they can thrive. Whereas if like someone is in like I don't know, like a country with like poor governance, I feel like then the burden and like all the troubles that are happening around them it would force them to like try to like find like a greater understanding of like what is happening. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all interconnected, hey?
Yeah.
Like we're all like, if I flip someone off in traffic, like they're probably gonna want to flip someone off, you know, or like depending on what kind of person they are, right? They
Yeah.
take that, maybe just absorb it. Or if I'm nice to someone, they're probably just gonna be nicer to someone. It's like you pay it forward, right? And it's just there's like I think there's a movie about it. Everything, everywhere, all happening all at once, something like that. Yeah, I
I
think I
haven't heard of
butchered
it.
that. But it's just, yeah, right now there's so many interactions, right? There's so many good things and bad things. And like we really have to think about how our actions affect other people and what we can do to help.
Yeah.
And like it's tough though, because for me, I'm already sometimes struggling with my mental health. You know what I mean? Like it's just tough these days with trying to, you know, make a name for myself and trying to go to school and trying to balance time with exercise, with eating healthy, with socializing, family time. How would you how would you advise someone who feels like they don't have time to be able to give towards caring about other people when they have so much going on?
Yeah. Oh, it's hard for me to have an answer because I feel like that's something that I still struggle with.
What do you do?
Well, in my like really busy like times in my life, I think I do try my best to at least do like a check-in with like the people that I care about. And like in those check-ins, like when I'm saying like, hey, how are you doing? I also like I am honest with like where I am at myself. So like if I say like I like honestly like this is a really busy time for me. So if I do seem distant, it's not because I want to be, it's just because I have a lot on my plate. Just want to give you clarity on that. Then that person's going to like first hopefully value like that I've said that to them, and then also have like now a good understanding of like why I would be distant. But then also I wouldn't want them to just be like, okay, yeah, now Samira's busy. Okay. Like now I'm just not gonna like I know how this is gonna be. So I like there needs to be a balance. Like at times where like I would want to have those like open conversations and like really know if like I am being like a good friend. So that makes sense.
Yeah, you want to be able to be a good friend first, and then you can allocate your time onto other stuff, right? You want to make sure your relationships are good and sound and healthy. then you can move forward. Does
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I don't know why I said that. It makes sense. Like that is exactly what I was thinking. Because like at the end of the day, like all the work that like I'm doing or like a career, like it's amazing. But if I don't have like friends around me, like a strong family around me, then it will end up just being like fleeting, just something that will just completely consume me. And then I really lose out on like the really important things in my life. Like, and that is connection with.
You're on top of the mountain. You're looking around.
There's no one around you. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no one there. That's a reality for many people, hey?
Yeah.
That sucks. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it long term here, Samira.
Exactly.
You know, think about it's not just about the money.
Podcast.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
that's the pod, you know. That's what we're all about. We're trying to keep everything balanced and everything, like living a fulfilling life. I think this podcast was designed to find meaning. You know, meaning in all things. Even washing the dishes, and I feel like there's meaning to that. You know, you're doing it for your family, for cleanliness, order.
Yeah, and you see like every guest that's like gone on has had like their topic that they feel very like passionate about, and it just shows that like that person has found what they I was about to say passionate again. That's not what I meant to do though. Like just like find the thing that they want to like dedicate a lot of time to, and then now like can share that with others.
Yeah, so. Awesome. Many organizations talk about inclusion, but few practice it meaningfully. What are the key differences between, key differences you notice between performative inclusion and genuine inclusion?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on this. Especially like what we were just saying, like there's so much going on. There's so many things that like deserve to have like light. And I think that's been the reason why a lot of like organizations have now tried to find like little shortcuts, just like to hit like, we have like cared about this, and we can show this like small poster. Well, like boom, there it is. And that's very performative. Like it's like what deeper action was like taken there? Because I just look at a poster and like know now that like, I don't know, it's like something day, like, oh, cool. But like, then I can take the action to now look into it myself. But I think more like genuine inclusion and genuine action is like being the like lead of like sharing resources and showing and like pointing people into the right direction. Not necessarily like having to have like the longest like info post on something, but just like more than just something that seems easy. Just making a Canva post or something like that.
Touch people's hearts, you know, to actually mean it. You know, it's hard to actually decipher that though. And like you just see a post and you go, oh, what does this person actually want to help the cause or just profit to make their company look good, you know, to make themselves look good.
Exactly.
And then you can really decipher it though by talking to that person, you know, you can see it with the eyes. I mean, I think we're just really good at reading people, you know, people would have good intentions.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Yeah. And like, if it's just a poster, then, and like, you don't really see like a face behind it, then you're not going to, well, it would be hard to see the intention, but also like, it's also clear at the same time, because if there's not a lot of work put into it, there you have it. And like, not to say that like my school was like this, like no shade to Bet Facey. They are awesome. That school is awesome. But like with Black History Month, it was like, from what I saw when I was there, it was just like a poster put up or like, it's Black History Month. And as like me in grade 12, like I was like, this does not sit right with me. And I can either just like sit here, do nothing about it, or do something about it. That now I feel like Black History Month is getting genuine awareness and genuine inclusion in like, I don't know, the knowledge that's being shared at this school. So then now like yearly I help with like a Black History Month event at my like old high school. And now it's like being like, it's an assembly that's held at like Sal and Bet Facey. And then, I accidentally hit that. And then hopefully more schools as well. And then now like it's an assembly where Black contributors are coming to the school and like students get to hear from their personal experience. And then also like I love having like a music aspect to it. And then that also brings like a lot of like Black culture into the event. And then, I mean, in my eyes, I feel like that's a lot more genuine than a poster because people get
Yeah.
like a real life, like, I don't know, more like action filled, like knowledge building. So
Yeah, I like that. I mean, you went to Beth Facey and you seen that their Black History Month didn't have the best kind of program, the best system, and
yeah,
so you thought to yourself, yeah, you weren't content with what they were producing, and so you stepped in there and you wanted change,
yeah,
right? I feel like there's too many people complaining these days and not a
exactly.
lot of things get done because
Yeah,
yeah, you can complain, but actually do something about it. You know, like if
exactly.
you're gonna complain about your life being terrible, what are you
Mm,
doing? You know, are
exactly.
you out there putting in the work for exercise? Are you working? Are you studying? Are
Yeah,
you reading books about it?
yeah,
If the answer is no, then maybe you shouldn't be complaining because this is
yeah.
exactly the life that you deserve because that's what you're
That's,
putting out.
yeah,
And that goes the same for like politics, for change that you want to see. Like
exactly.
you complain that everybody's mean to you. Are you nice to everyone? If the answer is no,
Yeah,
you know, like maybe you are part of the problem.
exactly.
It's
That's why I loved like when like I was in like leadership class in high school and like there would be times where we would put on an event and then a student would come to us and be like, that sucked. And then we would like say that to our leadership teacher and he'd be like, are they in the room right now? No. So like
no,
they're
exactly.
just here to
It's
complain.
like those trolls online, right? It's
Yeah,
like the people that hate just don't have anything better to do.
exactly.
It's like that's why I have a war against people who are cynics, like in nihilism and all that. I hate that.
Yeah.
Like, what is this doing for society, for humanity? No, it's just making people negative and just spreading hate and just taking meaning out of everything. It's
Yeah.
like, no, everything has meaning. And let's say at the end of the day, we all just get, warped into a black hole and Earth disappears, but it's still people are happy and that's what matters,
Yeah, exactly.
Can you share a time when you or your team had to adapt to a project or event based on feedback from the community? What did that teach you about listening and evolving?
Yeah. With like my two student groups, we have annual events that like they're constantly evolving. Yeah, because of like the feedback. So we love like putting out polls, but then also just like by ear, like people will come up to us and say like, "Oh, I love this event for like this reason." And then like if we hear a lot of it, like a lot of like a certain aspect being loved, then we keep it. But then also like if there's something that people that didn't work, then we take it out. This is a really funny one. And it was just so funny. So the Black Student Association used to do Family Feud. And then the last year that we did it, I dressed up as Steve Harvey. And it just like, it got rowdy. It got really rowdy because people were like having fun, but then it also just like crowd control just got tough. And then we realized that this event,
You got the bald.
I had the bald cap on.
Wow.
Are you trying to imagine me like
Yeah,
dressed as Steve Harvey right
You
now?
had the mustache?
I had the mustache.
And the
There was,
suit.
like,
The suit. Wow, you
everything.
went all out.
I went all out and then
Did you even work in the voice?
oh no, I couldn't do that. But imagine me walking through cab wearing that suit. Actually, I walked from my friend's apartment. She lives like, oh wait, actually I'm not saying a name. It doesn't matter. Like she lives like near, like that Circle K gas station.
Sure. Yeah. I know
at
what you're
the U of
talking
A.
about. Yeah.
So I had to walk from there
Wow.
all the way to like
A lot of reactions.
cab.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of laughter.
Yeah.
Like it was really funny. But what was so funny is that I ended up like in tears after that event because it just got so like rowdy and like nothing bad happened. That was just like a great example of like
overwhelming.
Yeah, like in that moment we were like, okay, this is not really being received the way that we would want it to be. So we're just going to adapt it and then like change it up. So now it's like more just like a like chiller like games night or something like that. Or like yeah, no more Family Feud. No more me dressing up as Steve Harvey. So yeah. And then like we do like mix and mingle every year. So that one I would say has adapted quite a bit. And we love just like now incorporating games that we see like online. Like like Pop the Balloon. Stuff like that.
No, I don't
You
know.
haven't
Papa
seen
Dylan.
it?
No.
Okay, so like it would be like one like person like comes in, and then there's gonna be like I don't know, like quite a few people that she can like she or anyone I meant could like be with like for a date or something like that. And then like the host asks that like one person questions, and then if a person doesn't like the other person or other, I don't know, in that group didn't like what like they said, then they just like pop the balloon, and that just shows like that they're not interested. Like it's
Oh wow, that's hardcore.
it is a bit hardcore, but then it ends up like if you keep it light, it ends up just being funny. Or like or just having just like one contestant and then having like 3 people face away from them and then ask questions. Like we just do stuff like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so like these iterations, you just see what works, what doesn't.
Yeah, and then just change it up.
It's overwhelming because like I feel like that Steve Harvey bit and like Family Feud was like a lot of effort, and it became too rowdy, and feel like you need to like a lot more staff.
Yeah,
you know,
a lot more crowd control, and like obviously we took into account how I ended up.
Were they just yelling a bunch of stuff at you?
It was like a little bit of trash talk. They were just
really?
And then at the end, like the group that was doing it the most was just like, I thought this is how Family Feud was, and I was like, have you watched this show? Like, no, like that is not how it is. So we're like, no, we're not gonna do that anymore. So there's that, and then like. Now I'm thinking like for my portfolio, there's like one event called Curls on Campus. And we've done that now like 2 years in a row. And it's like, it's kept like a pretty decent blueprint. However, I know what I want to change to keep it like, first of all, like within the time frame that I thought it was going to be in, like keep it on schedule, know like how we keep things like clean, because we're renting out a space and then we're cutting hair. A lot of hair is going to go everywhere. And like this year, like there was a lot of cleaning to do at the end. So like I'm adapting. And then also I hear people like what they're saying afterwards, what they liked about the gifts, or not the gifts, sorry, the prizes, and like what they didn't like. And
Is this like on a forum?
Like forum. And then also just like.
People can get really honest on forums, and especially if
it's anonymous.
Anonymous just makes people kind of saying unnecessary things too.
Yeah, but like I'm not afraid to even like just like ask people like on the street. Let's say like I run into like a general member, and now we're talking. Like I say like, how did you feel about the event? Like even like when I was voting, like I put in my ballot, and then the girl that was like doing it with me, she goes, wait, are you part of the Black Students Association? And I was like, yeah, I am. And then she's like, yeah, I was just at Curls on Campus. So then even though I was just finished voting for like our, I don't know, candidate, I took it as a moment to like get feedback from someone. So
I joined a subreddit for, it's called New Tubers and Small YouTubers, and then podcasting. So like three subreddits kind of like focused on the podcast and how to improve. Yeah. And I made a post on how I can improve and telling them, I'm in this like at the time, this is like a week ago, like 270 subs, like 157 listeners, and this. And I told them like my little brother who's on Scratch posted this video, and it blows up. I saw
your Snapchat story about that.
So I put that same thing on Reddit, and like it blew up. Like it had like 100,000 views, like 100 comments, and like people were saying, this part sucks, like the font, it's too red, and also this. I took all that into account, and of course there were like some haters in there too, and I just didn't really apply to that. But feedback is so
crucial. Yeah.
Like I've changed I added back the intro. I added kind of clips throughout the podcast to make it more engaging, so people know what to expect. Like I don't expect people to listen to the whole thing. I just want to give them the bits to kind of give them like excitement. Yeah. And I added back the intro, and I changed up the thumbnail, the cover. I took into account a lot of what they said. And I'm going to keep asking people, do you actually like this? Do you like this? And it's so important. Yeah. Like that's just how we improve.
Exactly.
Because if you just go based on what you think is good, like it's not going to
It's like blind leading blind. Like you're like, you need to lean on like the people around you.
Yeah. Like their feedback is why you're the leader.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So how do you ensure that the people you're aiming to include also have real power and agency within the spaces you're building?
Yeah. I feel like since the groups that I'm a part of, like we're all students, we need to remind ourselves that we are students making things for students. And I think that like allows us to stay like at the same level, and then people feeling like comfortable with like coming up to us, or like, giving people that agency to get involved, and like also keep people wanting to like be a part of the executive team yearly when we do applications, and like making it fair. Like I would say that every year, like, I mean, now like I'm going into my third year with the BSA.
Yeah.
But like there has been a lot of like new people like coming through, like as a coordinator, like we have that, like there is that opportunity there. And when people see that, then they know that like there's a chance. It's not just like all like sneaky, like, oh, that person's friends with this person and that's how they got onto the team. Like it's never like that. Like we stay very honest, and we stay very like
Democratic.
Exactly. Yeah. With an electric system. What am I saying? Election system.
I'm gonna expose you. I'm gonna get all the hidden text and DMs.
Actually, Samira is gonna stay on the team, but she didn't actually get voted in. But yeah, no, it's like keeping those systems like intact, and then also always having transparency and like what we're doing as a team, so it doesn't seem like all corporate or anything. Like genuinely stay like grounded in our values, and then like let people in. So
that's dope. No, thank you so much for coming on the Long Term Podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This has been really fun.
Yeah, you sound like a person that's taken a path. You're following the path of most resistance. You know, you've let comments in the past and hardship build you up instead of tearing you down. I feel like you're a great leader, and I feel like the Black, what's the name called again?
Black Students Association.
Black Student Association. And what's your position in there?
I'm the VP of Social Impact.
Wow.
And then
it's like, that takes a lot of work, hey?
Yeah, I mean, I love the work though.
Yeah. And then you're also working and you're going to the gym. Wow.
Just trying to keep it up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever hit burnout?
Oh yeah. I've definitely had burnout. But it's just been how like came back from it and all. And like also not like denying when I am in burnout, like recognize what I could do to like help myself. Like if I find that like I'm feeling really tired because I've let my like sleep schedule just like fall into pieces, or break into pieces, I meant to say. Or I'm just like only eating one burger from Hub Mall each day. Like that's not good. So and then that's the only way that I can like allow myself to get back up again, because like I need to understand that like I'm human, and like everyone needs to show humility in the work they do.
That's awesome. Are you gonna gun for presidency or?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I am.
Wow. Like this upcoming sem?
This semester, I'm the VP of Social Impact for the second year. And then, I won't be afraid to say that I will be going for presidency in my fourth year. So
I won't be surprised if you get it.
Thank you.
That's awesome. You've done a lot of work, and I can really tell you're passionate about the things that you do. And I can't wait to what the future has to offer for you. I know it's a lot of amazing things.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Do you have any last words to the peoples?
I don't know, stay happy and healthy, and life's great. I don't know.
Awesome. Yeah.
I don't have much.
Yeah. And as always, to everyone listening and watching, there is a place for you in this chaotic world. Never lose hope, strengthen your faith, and keep it long term. Samira Schultz, everyone. And this quote I just read today is really good. I gotta share it with everyone. What is good is it for someone to gain the world yet forfeit their soul? Mark 8:36. Just thought I'd share.
Yeah. Awesome.
That is all this power, right? But what's it for if you sacrifice the insides?
Exactly.
Yeah.